According to health officials, 6 people in Kansas and Missouri have died from the flu this year.
That's right, and Associated Press reports there's also an unexpected strain. There may have been hundreds of more deaths across the U.S. this year. Marcus Officer is live at the Kansas City Health Department. Marcus?
Yeah, since October 1st, more than 900 people have died and more than 2 million have been taken to the hospital because of the flu. And it's the speed at which the flu is spreading that has health officials concerned so far this season as we continue to look into 2020 to know what will happen when it comes to this particular strain of the flu. We haven't seen numbers reach like this fast since 2003. That's according to the CDC as well. And it's still too early to tell if this year's flu vaccine is performing up to par. Now, health experts say the flu vaccine the past 2 years has performed quite poorly against the virus. There were more than 110,000 flu-related deaths and over 1 million hospitalizations combined the last couple of years. Now, of the 2 years, 2017 was one of the worst in a very long time. So it'll be important to see how this year's flu numbers change headed into next year. With that said, though, health experts we spoke with say we need to be thoughtful about keeping our hands clean, given how easy it can be to infect yourself and others.
If you think about how many times a day or even an hour that you touch your face, we don't even realize it. You know, a lot of us, even with allergies, just do a simple wipe of the nose. But in doing that, you can actually infect yourself, kind of do that self-inoculation. If you've touched something that has germs on it and you don't know it, then you touch your face. That's where the dangers are.
Fox 4's Marcus Officer is live outside the health department to talk about what health experts are dealing with this year. Marcus?
Yeah, Abby and Mark, the last two flu seasons have been an absolute nightmare for health officials and for folks across the U.S. I mean, in those last 2 years combined, we're talking about over 110,000 flu-related deaths and over 1 million hospitalizations. And this year, I mean, it's kind of on pace to possibly rival some of those numbers that we've seen these last couple of years. This year's flu strain is infecting people at a rate experts haven't seen in over a decade and a half. And surprisingly, the elderly are not the most at risk for getting sick according to the numbers this year. It's children and people under the age of 50, and it's still too soon to know how the flu shot is holding up with this virus. There is some good news, though. According to the CDC, Kansas is among the dozen or so states where flu cases are considered minimal. Missouri is considered to be moderate. It's in the South where the flu is causing the most concern. From Texas all the way across to North Carolina, there are thousands of cases of the flu. Now, given what a large part of the country is going through, it's important that we do not spread germs to others and also ourselves, and we can do that by avoiding contact to specific areas of our face that doctors call the T-zone.
So the T-zone is just something that people have used in campaigns in past to bring attention to that area on your face where your mucous membranes are that can spread those germs very easily. So you also want to make sure that you're not touching that after you've touched anything, because then you can infect yourself. So you think about your eyes, your nose, and your mouth, that T shape there on your face.
Is always a problem, and this year it appears to be spreading faster than before.
And there's a strain they didn't know was coming. There's always a couple of strains out there. Marcus Officer's live at the Kansas City Health Department. Go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, we've talked about the numbers from the CDC and other health organizations that they've gathered over the course of this year and over the past couple of years when it comes to the flu strain. And like you mentioned, it's moving very, very quickly, faster than what they've seen in, I think it was a decade and a half. And it's killed 6 people in Kansas and Missouri so far this year. And there's been more than, again, the 900 deaths since October, and they're all flu-related. And this is just the start of flu season. So this is what folks in the health field are dealing with right now. Health experts believe the last time, again, the flu swept through this quickly was 2003. Adults under 50 and children are most at risk this year, and doctors do not know how well this year's flu vaccine is fighting the virus. Now, all of that said, though, Kansas and Missouri are in decent shape compared to Louisiana, Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia. In total, there are 12 states that are seeing what the CDC is calling intense activity in terms of the number of people sick with the flu, and we are entering a time of the year where we are getting in closer contact with people, either at home, at the grocery store, or traveling like on an airplane or something like that. So doctors say we need to be better about washing our hands, avoiding touching our faces, and being aware of who's sick around us and trying to avoid them when it's reasonable.
Well, we see different illnesses at different times of the year, but usually in the wintertime we see that either those colds or that influenza illness. And part of it is that close proximity. You're getting a lot of family together, spreading those germs. So a lot of times after Thanksgiving, after Christmas, we'll see a spike in some of those illnesses.